Hi guys, in this video we're going to talk about the inclined plane. We're going to look at where the inclined plane fits into simple machines, look at a definition of an inclined plane, why they are useful, how they work, and give a couple of examples. So firstly, a simple machine is something that gives us mechanical advantage, which makes it easier to do work. There's 6 types of simple machines, including the wedge, wheel, axle, pulley, screw, lever, and the inclined plane, which we're going to talk about today. So, first to define an inclined plane, and it's pretty much in the title there, a plane being a straight surface that is on an angle or an incline becomes an inclined plane. Now you may call this a ramp. That's a common name for it because ramps are a version of the inclined plane, but there are others as well. So looking at why it's useful. So we've got a scenario here where we've got a fridge, we're moving house, we've got to put the fridge onto the truck. Now you could just go and lift the fridge, but the fridge is quite heavy, it has mass. And because it has mass, it has the force of gravity pulling it down to the ground. So to lift it straight up and put it into the back of the truck, you're going to have to combat this whole force of gravity. That's where our inclined plane comes in. By having the inclined plane, we're getting that mechanical advantage, spreading the force required to lift the fridge in an upwards direction across a greater distance and a greater time. Now the way that this works is because the normal force of the ramp, which is upwards-ish, it's perpendicular to the ramp, only a fraction of the force that is actually lifting that fridge up is required in that upwards motion at any one time. So this means that, as I said, you can do it over a longer time and over a longer distance. Now some examples, and I talked about ramps, so an example is a wheelchair ramp. So instead of a set of stairs, next to the set of stairs we have a wheelchair ramp, or in this case, right in the middle. Now you can see that that set of stairs is much shorter than that wheelchair ramp, or steeper than the wheelchair ramp. So if somebody was quite adept with a wheelchair, maybe they'd be able to ride or brute force it straight up those stairs. But by having this inclined plane, it creates or means that you need less force or less effort to actually move up because you've got that normal force pushing against you. But you can see that the distance required to get up those stairs is longer, and in this case you're looking at about twice as long to get up that set of stairs. So somebody who is able to produce that force, for example an able-bodied person who is able to walk up that set of stairs, might choose to walk up the stairs instead of the ramp because the ramp is longer. A reverse example of this is a slippery dip or slide. Now this is an inclined plane where the inclined plane is actually splitting the acceleration due to gravity down over a longer period of time so that you're not going so fast in that fall. If you were to get a child and push them off the other side where there wasn't a slippery dip, they'd accelerate directly to the ground and they'd probably hurt themselves. But if they were to be pushed down the slide, that fall would be over a longer period of time with a less acceleration due to gravity, plus there'd be a little bit of friction in there. But they would actually get to the bottom quite safely and in quite a fun way. In this video we have talked about an inclined plane as an example of a simple machine which makes it easier to do work through a mechanical advantage. We've defined an inclined plane as a plane or straight edge that is on an angle or incline. We've talked about why it's useful because it provides that mechanical advantage by spreading the load over a longer distance and time. We've talked about some of the physics in how it works and the normal force coming from the plane. And we've looked at a couple examples being a wheelchair ramp and a slippery dip or slide. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.